It is the world famous KROQ. I'm Megan Holiday. I'm here with Luke and Hugh of the band The Kooks.
Hello.
Hi, you guys.
This is amazing. Thank you for having us.
I'm so excited for you to be here.
Yeah.
And, you know, before when we were talking, I was telling you how big of an impact, obviously, your debut album, Inside In, Inside Out, had on me. And I realized yesterday that it's 20 years old. You guys.
It is, isn't that mad?
I feel old now.
Yeah, and we're honoured.
That's as old as us.
No, it's really, I mean, that album really, it's taken us across the world. It's an amazing thing. And I think I'm starting to finally kind of appreciate it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's like
wondering.
a kind of chapter 20 years. Because, like, the thing that happens, I think, to a lot of artists, like, you're kind of running away from those big success moments and trying to, well, not running away, but you know what I mean? You're trying to, like, because you don't...
We'll get out from the shadow of it, kind of, yeah.
And you want to change and all that. And now I'm kind of finding a lot of appreciation for it, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering that, you know, if you can look back now, or when you're performing the songs now, you're able to do it with more joy, kind of.
Yeah, there's less pressure. We kind of have been round the mill a bit and we've made mistakes. And now it's just about, I guess, flying the flag of who we are at this moment. And to be able to still make music at this moment is totally unheard of for so many bands.
Oh,
so it's about not taking it for
amazing.
granted as well.
Yeah.
And we can really
100%.
properly appreciate that now as adults.
Yeah, I know, because that's what we are. It's 20 years later, guys.
Yeah.
We finally grew up after 20 years, basically.
I know. Well, have we,
when you-
though? Have we?
Well,
We'll say that on air.
No,
Yeah.
you're
When
about
you're in
to
a
have
band,
a family. You know, you've got your
Yeah.
family starting and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So,
yeah. But like, yeah, exactly. Because when you're in a band, you know, you get to be, you get to have arrested development a little bit. But then, the kids come. And then it's like,
reality hits. Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing. And like, you know, seeing them, they come to shows and everything. Very cool.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, I want to congratulate you on your brand new album, NeverKnow. It's doing massively right now in the UK. And
cool, yeah.
we're on a mission to make that happen here in the US, obviously.
Please.
Yeah, we're very excited. Yeah, we're really. It's been a real wave, a good wave for us in the UK, which has kind of picked up, new fans, like young fans as well, which is kind of crazy. Like people that some of them wouldn't have been born when we started out,
Right.
and the teenagers are getting into it. And yeah, we had a good run, didn't we, for the past few weeks in the UK?
Totally. Yeah, it's amazing to see, especially in America, just seeing that we've actually got people who listen to our music here. We were just at UCLA and people were we played a couple songs and people were coming up and we were kind of shocked as to the kind of knowledge of the band. And we've just never kind of spent loads of time here. So I think it's quite nice to actually focus on.
Well, this one
our
girl,
fans.
she actually was listening to one of our songs.
Like,
When she came over, she was listening to
Yeah.
one of the songs,
That's
West Side.
so crazy.
On our folder. I was like,
so
what? Yeah.
wild.
She's like, I've got you. I'm like, yeah,
Oh
amazing.
my God, that's
That's pretty cool.
serendipitous. That's the
quantum.
Matrix
There you
stuff
go.
we were talking about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Big time.
It's all
It's real.
connected,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
It really is. But, you know, I think that your songs, a lot of times, they come up on tons of playlists for a lot of us who are interested in, you know, the alternative, like the indie. And so you guys are very much in the fabric. And like your debut album, it was huge for, you know, my generation. That album was huge. You know, whether or not it got a ton of radio play or whatever, it doesn't matter. We all know that album.
Yeah, I think like culturally, especially with guitar players, like it's become one of those records that you would go to as part of your kind of education in, you know, like whatever guitar music. It's become part of the woodwork, a rite of passage. And that's just like, to us, that's mind blowing still that people would find that interesting as a kind of statement as to, you know, where we're coming from. Brighton, our kind of ethos, pop music, but there's reggae there's indie, there's soul music, there's a bit of hip hop thrown in, and I just don't think we've ever really been a band that has operated in genres and in boundaries. And I think places like America, who like countries which have these kind of broad spectrums of tastes, sometimes polarizing, sometimes kind of to its detriment. I think a band like the Kooks, we were just on tour here last year, weren't we? And we were thinking, there's so much, like, I guess, space for our music in the culture here. But we've just not really kind of spent loads of time on working on that.
So now it's time for you guys to spend some time here. Okay, I have a spare room. It's fine. You know, we can keep you around playing lots of shows. And I definitely want to get into the new album because just like you were saying, all of these different genres, you know, are mixed in with this new album. And I know that you had said that this is a lot like going back to your roots. So what do you kind of mean by that?
Yeah, I think in a way, we kind of like what I was talking about earlier. We had tried to evolve our sound so much, and we'd really embraced the kind of new ways of working by bringing producers in and changing our sound and trying to be uncomfortable in a way. And you know, the last time we did was a real synth record we did in Berlin, and the one before that was like we did a gospel record, even a gospel blues record, or gospel blues influenced. And this one was just like about kind of really honing in on like the identity of the band, and that was just doing it ourselves and just getting back to four guys, four friends, like playing in the countryside in a little barn and just jamming.
You produced this one, right?
Yeah, I like to say the overseer of the production. But yeah, I did produce it because it was just. I mean, it was great for me because I know how amazing everyone is, and it's just letting everyone have be the best they can be within the record, and just sort of making sure it all ticks along. But really, it was a very honest, like spontaneous record, which is really exciting to do on your seventh one because it's like there's no tricks or anything. It's just like it's not a live album, but you know what I mean. It's like and we got these amazing singers in, and it was a really fun record to make, and it came out
harmonies.
So thank you. Yeah, I mean they're well. I'm gonna say thank you. They're amazing. Yeah. And we were singing in the room. We got real connection and chemistry, and I think what came out was. Funny enough, in the kind of times we're living in, was this super optimistic, positive record, and that kind of blew my mind. I didn't necessarily start out thinking that would happen, but it did, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. It's so easy on the ears. It's lighthearted. It's romantic, and like you were saying, I was like, thank God for this album because we really, I could really use something that really takes you outside of anything that might be going on in the world or within yourself.
It's also a rock record. It's one of the first records we've done in years that pretty much every song has a guitar solo, but not in the kind of singing and dancing, all screaming and shouting kind of way, he says with devil horns and about to stick out his tongue.
There's a few moments like that on the record.
But someone will turn
like
into
what am I
me.
like compass will fracture.
Yeah, that's pretty rock and roll.
That one's got a great
It's got some
guitar.
Stone Roses-y, a bit of Rolling Stones as well.
Yeah,
all
really
the Stones.
good.
But also just not being afraid of those influences, not being afraid to do a guitar solo or be rock, but play the music that we love. And it is. I always think of that Amy Winehouse record, obviously with Mark, and they just did what they wanted. They just turned to their passions.
There's a very clear direction,
their perfect record,
and influence.
Based on who they were at that time, and to be unafraid of like taking a snapshot of that and flying your own flag is bold. It is bold. It's safe, but it's also bold because you're relying on your own self as what that looks like at that specific time without any tricks.
Yeah, being your authentic, true self, and at the core of who the Kooks are. This is who you guys, this is your representation, and it's very honest. This is great.
I feel like we would put that on big time. Now it'd be like, that's cool.
I do want
to highlight, the best thing you can do in some ways. Just really make something that you would love yourself, which is sometimes challenging.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Yeah, and especially as time goes on, I feel like it can sort of become more difficult.
You got to keep the love for it. I mean, it's like it's very important to not get stuck in the loop, because when you've done it 20 years, it can be tricky for artists to really enjoy the whole thing. And I think we're at that stage. We just have managed to really enjoy playing music, writing music, touring, even though we're it's 20 years in. Very cool.
And I do want to highlight the Wings cover on this
What do you
album.
think?
Oh my God, I love it.
We didn't change it too much.
No, I really loved it because it was such a surprise. I was not expecting it.
Thank you.
Arrow through me. So
from Back to the Egg. I mean, it became a bit of an anthem for the band. Even when we were touring, we just all loved this song. We'd always listen to it, and it kind of did inspire like where we were going a little bit with the record, but it was mainly I just really liked that it was like Wings have become cool again. I just really like that sort of theory.
Well,
like
Paul McCartney never goes out of fashion.
Well, that's true. That's true. No, listen, he was always cool to me.
Yeah.
But when I was at school, it's just so interesting how styles change and the kind of in our kind of area, the indie world, the new guys like they're not new now, but like Rex Orange County and people like Tame Impala, all of a sudden they were really inspired, I think, by Wings, and it's just kind of funny because it was always the Beatles, and then Wings became really hip. So I think that's really cool, and I just thought that song that could be a hit now to me. I just was like that if that came out tomorrow and someone else singing that, I'd be like, that's fresh.
Not to take over your job, do you see some of us in Wings a little bit? Like we've kind of gone through these like slightly in and out of fashion-y because we haven't really been dedicated followers of fashion. So you kind of have these moments where you're like,
speak for yourself.
I'm wearing high tops and I'm like, I thought I was
You're fashion
looking great.
You're rocking it.
Oh, come on, yeah.
You got great shoes.
It's hard to keep up, man. But you just like, what is it? Style, fashion goes out of style, never goes out. Style never goes out.
It always
of
comes
fashion,
back around,
right?
You know what I mean? It always does. And even when we go into like our weird phases of our style in our life or whatever, and we're just on the road to finding ourselves
So
again.
it's time,
Totally.
basically.
Yeah. And the Matrix,
The Matrix, back to let's talk about the Matrix.
Yeah, it's about time.
Let's get off the
It's
album.
been leering at the window, hasn't it? Existential crisis window.
Yeah, but we're doing okay. We're making it through. I mean, I think getting excited about music, for me, it's like such an escape. Getting excited about going out to see a band that you've loved for the last 20 years, it's just something to look forward to, something to be excited about.
It's like medicine.
It really is.
I feel like
Tonic. I said tonic.
Tonic. Yes, tonic.
No, interjection, not an interrupt.
I'm half deaf in my left ear. That's
You're
why.
what? Yeah.
I know.
It's my guitar amp, so I apologize.
Yeah, it's your fault.
You actually have created the deafness.
I really am
That's
sorry.
okay.
It's my own doing.
I'll take the deafness over
Yeah.
the guitar solos.
All right.
So I definitely want to
blind.
highlight your upcoming tour. So tell us where you're going. I know you're going to be here in LA at the Palladium on June 17th.
Yeah.
Where else can people see
We're back.
you?
We're back in the States.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm
We
so
had
excited.
the best time the last time we toured here, and we hadn't toured for like 5 years because of the quarantine and everything. So we kind of like it's the mecca for us, America. It really is. Like all the music, like we're just to us, it's like the birthplace of all the music we love. So really excited, and we're going to start on the East Coast, I think, and then LA is the 17th of June at the Palladium. So we love the Palladium. We're like veterans there now, so very exciting. And where else are we playing, Hugh? Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, it's North America, so Montreal, there's Philly, Salt Lake City. Speaking of kind of quantum magnetic energy zones. And then there's sadly not going much to the south, but I think we're going to leave that till like later on. Obviously East and West Coasts with a bit of like Salt Lake City in the middle, Chicago, obviously. Just the greatest hits for now, but we will be doing more of a kind of specific like niche area tour. That's on the cards later on.
Yeah.
We're not being snobs because we want to get around.
I mean,
America.
Yeah, of course you do. It's a big country.
It's a big country.
It's really big. It's a lot.
I mean, there's places we've never played, like Miami, or like we've done a little bit in Texas, haven't we? But there's just so many cool places. I mean, we never played in New Orleans. Me and Hugh went there once to write some songs. We didn't write any songs. We just sort of had fun.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot of music. That Frenchman Street is like, but we've never played there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's like it's a real like kind of dream for us, But
Well, I'm so glad that it's, on the horizon, and this is time for the Kooks takeover of America.
Come
and
on. Well, we
We'll
just
not
want to be
take it.
part of
well,
it.
Maybe just like have a go on the steering wheel. For a
yes,
bit.
okay. Test drive.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Kooks, the new album, NeverKnow, it's out in the world. See them on tour soon. And you guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today.
You're amazing. Thank
This
you
was
so
so much fun.
So brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thanks for having us in.
The Kooks, I'm Megan Holiday. It's KROQ.